I'm going to share with you how you can separate equity from a piece of property. And if you pull out $100,000, you can turn that into $1 million, borrowing money at 6 and only earning 6. Now, how many before coming tonight thought you could make money borrowing at 6 and only earning 6? Doesn't sound like you're going to get anywhere, does it? But see, I'm going to prove to you after the break that if I borrow money at 6%, but it's only costing me 4, and I earn 6%, which is tax-free, which is like earning 9, you can accumulate an extra $1 or $2 million. In fact, I'm going to show you how to borrow at 7.5% and only earn 7.5%, and you'll make $2.3 million on a house only worth $150,000. There's people out there that have $150,000, $200,000 houses, and they're walking away from $2.3 million they could otherwise have because they don't understand this. That's what I'm going to teach you when we come back from the break. You can borrow money at actually 6 and earn 8. I'm going to show you how you can borrow at 8 and only earn 6 and come out ahead several $100,000 when you understand these concepts. But before doing so, I want to use this picture in Goblet, which is described in my original work. Do we have any accountants in the room? Any CPAs here? Marv, my CPA, is in the back here. Okay, now if I have this goblet and it represents my house, when I'm filling out my balance sheet, my financial statement, what do I list my house as on my balance sheet? An asset, right? We talked about assets tonight. So this is an asset. It's worth $100,000, so that's an asset. Now I have $100,000 of liquid cash over here, sitting in the bank. What do I list $100,000 of liquid cash as on my balance sheet? Great, another asset. What do I have in total assets? $200,000, okay? Now people say, well, wait a minute, if you have a mortgage there, okay, yeah, if you have a $100,000 mortgage, you still have $200,000 in assets, right? Minus a $100,000 mortgage has a net worth of $100,000 day 1. But day 2, I'm going to prove to you why it's best to keep them separated. What happens if I take 20% and pay this into the house, or 50%? What happens if I totally pay off my house and I take all of that cash and pay off my house? What did I just do to my assets? I just cut them in half. Everybody see that? I just took one $100,000 asset and another $100,000 asset and combined them together into one $100,000 asset. Likewise, if I take 80% of the equity out of my house, whoa, and I pour it over into here, what did I just do to my assets? I just doubled my assets. I just took a $100,000 house and removed $100,000 of cash out. Now I have $100,000 of cash and a $100,000 house. I just doubled my assets. Does everybody see that? Okay. What does that mean? Let's say this house appreciates 5% this year. What is it worth at the end of the year? 105. If I have it totally paid off and all my cash is over there, now it appreciates 5% this year. Now what is it worth? 105. How come the same answer? Because equity has no rate of return. Doesn't matter if the house is full of cash or empty of cash and mortgaged to the hilt, it's going to earn 5% regardless. Does everybody see that? Good, because I can see that you can see that. I can read your body language here. Let's say that this $100,000 that I separated earns 10% this year. What is this worth at the end of the year? 110. Oh. So I earned 10 here when it was separated plus 5 here. What's that a total of? I earned 15,000 when it was separated. Now you're going, but, there's a cost to that. Sure there is. Am I willing to incur that cost? Let's see. If I separate this equity over here and I make 10,000 here and this appreciates 5,000 for 15,000, but let's say I separated this equity at 6%, okay? 6% is a total of 60,000 on a $1 million mortgage, or 6,000. If I have 6% interest on, let's say, a $100,000 mortgage, then I have $6,000 in cost. Is it really costing me 6? Costing me 4 because it's tax deductible. Oh, okay. So if I subtract the 4,000 true cost, because Uncle Sam's gives me 2 of it back, what did I net out of this 10? 6 plus 5. Oh, I made 11,000. Even though I separated it and it cost me an employment cost, I made 11,000 instead of 5,000. That's over double. If you can do that on 100,000 of home equity, what if you have 200,000 or 300,000, see?